This episode of Co-op is brought to you by Nokia, Gamefly, and Squarespace.
Surprised to see you here. I thought the Ps3 hired others to do their dirty work.
It's your family that cries for guards when there's trouble. Cotardo. Afraid to handle things yourself?
Your sister seemed quite satisfied with the handling I gave her earlier.
People ask me, if I didn't like Assassin's Creed 1, should I play Assassin's Creed 2? And the answer is yes, 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 yes. It's one of the finest games I've ever played above the first game.
Everything that was broken in the first Assassin's Creed, fixes it, and is more ambitious by far in every regard.
What is it, Jacopo? Do you think they suspect something?
Impossible. The Medici are too arrogant or too stupid to even notice.
One of the big things that was missing in Assassin's Creed 1 was that there was almost no sense of pacing. It was just like, do this assassination, do these same 3 sets of side missions, then do another assassination.
And there's no real sense of motivation in the first one. You're doing things because you're told to.
Because you're an assassin, and that's what you do.
A lot of times you're just begrudging about it. You're doing it out of a sense of obligation.
Self-expression is vital to understanding and enjoying life. You should find an outlet.
I have plenty of outlets.
I meant besides vaginas.
I thought the story was great. Obviously, we won't spoil the ending and stuff, but I mean, just the whole conspiracy thing, all the Templar
just
stuff.
from the very beginning, first it makes you like Ezio, and then it makes you feel for Ezio, and that instead of being a story about a conspiracy, it becomes a story about Ezio's quest to unravel a conspiracy.
Or even Desmond's quest to unravel the conspiracy.
Yeah, just the fact that in the beginning, I felt like developers took their time where your missions are like going on a walk with your mom to help run errands and just getting introduced to characters. There's just all this setup, and it provides that call to action so that when it happens, they're like, Ezio, you need to do something about this. You know what you're getting yourself into.
I need you to take these documents to Mr. Roberto. He was with me in the office this morning.
The Gonfaloniere, I remember. Now please, tell me what's happening. Are the Ps3 behind this? There was a note for you at the pigeon. It said, go, Ezio. Go now.
One thing that I thought was strange is that throughout the course of the first game, you're constantly moving back and forth between the 2 spaces. Desmond's story, Altair's story.
Too much of that.
And this game there's much less of it.
Right off the bat, after the torture that Desmond is put through in the first game, you get to beat some Mystergo ass.
Yeah.
As soon as you start in Italy, the game is gorgeous, and you're immediately struck by this is colorful, where the other game often looked desaturated.
You guys played it the way that I did, right? You turned off the HUD.
Yeah.
Turned off all the HUD except for the minimap. I even turned off the minimap sometimes.
See, I would have.
I was like, okay, I know I'm going somewhere over there. If you just go by landmarks, and you played it for 30 hours, it's like, okay, I know the one was
I would have done that, but I was starting the game, and I thought, man, if I did that, then I'd be going to the map much more often than I already am. I'll just leave the minimap on, as much as I wish that it would just
a little tiny heads up.
Fade out.
Let me set a little waypoint and just have a little tiny
I wish I could just hit a button
to
to pop the HUD in for a sec and then have it fade out and go away.
Ezio is an amazing looking character. I thought Altair looked awesome. And Ezio is like, his outfit, his everything is just so intricate and beautiful and detailed. He's always great to look at. And one of the things we talk about, you can change his outfit.
Yeah, I was just going to say, how often did you change colors?
I did it all the time.
I like the green and gold one.
That one to me looked dumb in the store, but I put it on, I was like, that's
ooh, he looks good.
You got to try it on.
There's like genius pacing in this game. Like the moment you you go back to Lorenzo de Medici, he gives you an awesome cape, and then you're like, I'm gonna go talk to Leonardo about all this stuff I just did. And you go to his house and he's not there, and his assistant or neighbor or something tells you, oh yeah, he just went to Venice, he's setting up shop there. And at that moment you know, like, oh shit, I'm going to Venice too. Fuck, that's awesome. And they sent him over there, everything's totally perfect.
And then the way that they send you to Venice, they broke it up with a vehicle sequence that's tons of fun.
Yep.
Really? Yeah. Then the sequence ends, and I love this. The whole time you're thinking, I'm going to Venice, I'm going to Venice, and then bam, it stops you in the middle of this city that I didn't realize the second time has like 2 story objectives. You don't even need to go to this entire giant area in the story, really. You can avoid it completely, but it's amazing that they have it in there, and they didn't make it a big deal.
Being on the ground and on the street is a place you actually want to be in this game.
Yeah. Not only that, I'm not running around as quickly as possible to get to every location. Like if I got to, I'll take a leisurely stroll.
Pickpocketing your way through the city.
Exactly. You know,
Do the fast walk with sticky fingers.
Yeah.
The easy pickpocketing of that is just so unbalanced, but it's fun too. It's like, all right, well, if I'm gonna walk through this crowd, I might as well steal as much as I can.
That's sort of indicative of almost everything in the game, which is that everything that you want to do, almost without exception, is easy for you to accomplish.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the objectives, but the ways that you figure out that you want to do them. Like, I'm running from rooftop to rooftop. Once you learn that there are specific paths that they've designated and how to spot those, it's incredibly easy to go from one to the other. Yeah. Fighting is still as intuitive as it was before, assuming that you like the counter system, because if you didn't, then you're going to have issues again.
Well, but they improved the counter system by, instead of you just standing there going, come on, attack me, fuck, come on, attack me, like now you have the taunt.
What are you waiting for?
When I started playing the game, I was using the combat in exactly the same way I was doing it in Assassin's Creed 1, and like just Matt said, just like waiting around for people to attack so I could counter. The taunt fixes that. The quick step move was something I wasn't even using until my like third play through the game, which is basically like 8-way run. Totally works perfectly. And then additionally, you eventually unlock the evade move, which is the same thing except when you're blocking. So then you have like 2 different versions of being able to sidestep enemies, get behind them.
So I did a lot of bare hand combat, a lot of just like kind of wait there and the guy would swing and you just grab it, because I love all the kill moves.
Well, I think they nailed 2 things that are crucial to enjoying being this character and making you fill those shoes accurately. Is that, you know, he feels very lethal when you're in combat, no matter what you're doing, and that's, you know, through the animation, through the variety, and you have room to be creative. It's I switched the combat half a dozen different times during the course of the game, and it was always fun.
Did you use the poison blade at all?
I did.
It goes crazy and stuff. Like, it's awesome.
My favorite counter is I had one of the Seeker guys with the pole. He went at me, I took the pole away from him, and then right after that, another brute with a big battle axe came right at me, and I hit the counter button, and when he put the stick up, it broke the stick in half. And Ezio kind of looks at both of them for a second, and then just stabs the guy with one of them and drops him.
No, dude! Can't you read internet do not unplug? You're never supposed to take that out. I was
Whoa! Just chill, baby. Chill. I got you covered, baby. I got you covered. You can use my laptop, sweet cheeks.
How is this gonna help me? I have a perfectly good laptop with twice the screen size.
You gotta relax. It's got 3 Gs, baby.
3G internet access?
Yeah, 3 Gs. Online all the time. Just like me.
Unibody construction?
Ooh,
Windows 7? You know, this thing is actually pretty sweet.
Just be sure to plug it in after 12 hours.
12-hour battery life?
That's right, 12-hour battery life.
Pretty sweet. All right, you know, I might just give this a shot. And if you have any of that margarita mix left, kick some down, you know?
Yeah, right.
there's actually a spot in the game where you can do combat training, and it's totally, you don't even need to do it at all ever. I mean, there are a few spots that are story missions where you get taught how to do certain moves, but there's all these special moves, and some of them that you even have to pay for to unlock.
Dirt.
Yeah.
There's one where you throw multiple throwing knives at 3 enemies at once.
Yeah,
There's like a sweep move with any of the long weapons like the sticks. There's just so much shit in there. There's tons of puzzles, tons of collectibles, tons of combat stuff that you'll never even do, and 50% of it you have to do throughout the course of the game, and 50% of it is totally optional, including giant locations in the game that, you know, people could just walk right by and miss if they wanted to finish it fast.
I love the seal stuff.
Yeah.
They're kind of platforming, you know, going to find the seals and stuff. I thought that's
some of those locations are the most magnificent, beautiful things you've seen.
I did the
in the entire
Duomo one
game.
again last night.
Yeah.
Like just climbing up over the stained glass windows and stuff.
I just thought they were great that, you know, they make you go to the first one to introduce it, but then the other 5 are optional. And they're just such great breaks from the rest of it where, you know, and they're all different, where sometimes you're doing climbing puzzles, and other times you're doing stealth, and other times you're chasing a guy through the cavern.
Guards! To arms! To arms!
Escaping in this game. I mean, I remember the last game, I would just get so frustrated because it'd be like, I would be running from dudes for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Not only that,
like, where the hell am I going to hide? And then finally this one, it's like, all right, just run around the corner.
I was pretty late in the game running away from some group of dudes, and I hopped into one of those little huts on the top of the houses that you spend whatever, like 40% of your time in when you're playing Assassin's Creed 1. I realized, like, man, this is the first time I've ever jumped in one of these, just because, you know,
it's not your only option.
It's not your only option. There's 1,000 options.
Good, your match. Right. You won't get away!
You have these groups that you can hire and bring along with you, and then send to either distract or fight with or lure away guards, depending upon who you're using.
And each one has its own sort of wrinkle as far as effectiveness. Like the prostitutes, you only have a certain amount of time to do what you need to do.
Courtesans.
They're prostitutes.
And like the mercenaries, you got to stay on the ground with them as well.
And the thieves, when they walk up and stumble and then run away and the guards chase them, if you're not careful, you will run into the guards chasing the thieves several blocks away.
Did you guys do the money throw?
Yeah.
I love the money throw. It's
That's great.
I did a bunch of those. I like threw a bunch of money around, and then after everybody grabbed it, I just went and pickpocketed.
They totally stop people from chasing you too. Like they'll throw money down, and then a crowd will get in the way. And I turned the camera around behind me, and I saw the guards like run into people in the crowds and trip and fall.
The crowds are so much better in this game than they are in
No
last
beggars.
one.
First of all, no beggars.
No, well, there's the
bards,
minstrels.
but the minstrels.
But you can pickpocket them, and then they get pissed off.
His shadows are his element. His nerves are made of steel. He'll gut the guard, then cry, "What have I done? Have I displeased you?"
Your ability to blend with any crowd, any group of people in any crowd, that becomes really important.
And it's just so much more analog than the way it was in the old game, you know, where you had to like walk up and press a button. It was just like, it felt so
I didn't find that I really used it that much
monks.
though.
Yeah.
There were like a couple of those first couple missions where they kind of say like, you should use this.
I use it
other than
whenever I'm
that,
tailing people.
But the thing is that you can use it though. Like you
exactly,
you could have in a lot of the missions in the game gone.
It's all about choice.
Yeah,
in
going on the
Venice,
top.
you have to be careful because if you're following a target on the rooftops, it's easy to lose someone because of the giant gaps because of the canals.
Exactly.
You can swim now, so it's not as big a deal. But
still.
if you're blending in with the crowd, then you're much less worried about losing them. You're just sort of like, well, I need to move in the right
And if you
direction.
hire a group of courtesans, then they always surround you, and you control where they walk.
You have to be really careful with that though, because if you walk by guards,
They
they
like, oh, hey.
Ah, mi sa che mi sono innamorato.
Another thing I liked about the level design too is that was different than the first one is if you were climbing, I stuck mostly to the roofs, and I actually found what was really fun, especially in Venice, is you can run along the side of buildings just above the canals and everything, and it's so pretty just to.
Well, they have it set up nicely because there's always spots where you'll be running down the street and you'll see like the boxes stacked up, and then like a couple of things, and like you're constantly going up and then back down, and like.
Well, and they even tell you in a tutorial message near the beginning that the white sheets are the start of free run sequences, and so you see them and it's perfect because they fit in with the environment without it being some like glowy like here start here thing.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed 1 was one of my favorite like 3D platforming games ever. That and Crackdown, and this game became my favorite climbing game once I got that second vertical jump that let me leap up higher, because I thought that was like the one thing that was missing. And just that extra button press at the end that makes it a little bit like, you know, your active reload or something like that mini game is just such a wonderful piece of feedback, and it makes you really feel like you're doing the climbing yourself.
That's sort of endemic of Assassin's Creed 2 over Assassin's Creed 1. It's like they knew everything that was missing from the first game, and then they just put it in the second game.
What's wrong, Billy? No money for new games? Well, try GameFly. GameFly is the largest online video game rental service and offers you a choice from over 6,000 new and classic titles across all consoles and handhelds. With plans starting at $15.95 a month, GameFly members can rent 1 to 4 games at a time and keep them for as long as they like. There are no late fees, no due dates, and shipping is always free. Once you're done playing a game, send it back and GameFly will send you the next available game on your list. If you really like the game you're playing, simply click Keep It on the GameFly website and the game is yours, at a discounted price. GameFly will even mail you the case and manuals free of charge. Co-op fans will get a 2-week free trial when they go to gamefly.com/co-op. Some restrictions apply, see site for details.
One of my favorite things about the game too is the villa. I mean, this is the thing that sucks the most time and energy out of me in a good way. I just love collecting paintings. I loved renovating the space. I loved being able to like watch the town grow and flourish.
It's like My Sims Venice.
Yeah.
Right.
Pro tip, upgrade your banks first, kids.
Yes. In the early game, invest all your money back into your town. Buy the new armor pieces or whatever, but save your money on weapons and just put it all back into the town, because it'll be coming back at you really fast.
How do you feel about the mechanic where you have to go back to the villa like every hour or so
to pick up your money?
Yeah, because like your bank account fills.
See, I'm okay with that because of the fast travel.
Yeah, the fast travel
makes it very easy to multitask.
Yeah. You get a lot of money, but there's always so much stuff to spend it on in this game. You can like have 30,000 florins and then all of a sudden run out and buy like 4 things and it's gone.
How about the fact that there actually is money in this game?
And there's like, an economy upgraded.
Right. They put the money in the game, and that means that all of those exploration things, like the flags in Assassin's Creed 1 that were meaningless, now have
those.
Yeah, but they now have.
I don't know why.
They've essentially added an experience system.
Yeah.
Because you find money and upgrade your stuff.
And that makes you want to find every chest. It makes you like doing every mission.
Try using Eagle Vision. Not got all day.
Wait, that's not possible. This can't be.
The glyphs are a really great addition that don't get hard until the very end.
And it is worth getting all of them, because at first I was watching the little pieces, I was like, do I really need all these? And then when I got it, I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that works. That fits into the story.
I needed
perfectly.
all of that. This all makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, and I love how it gives you kind of the history of the Assassins and the Templars and their relationship to human history, all within these little mystery puzzles.
And
that makes them fun.
And how those pieces have affected major events.
And
exactly, it makes them fun to solve.
In addition to sort of how well the game establishes Renaissance Italy, because it really does convincingly sell it, down to the point where I think it was, I saw Jeremy Parrish on a message board yesterday talking about if you want to find the buildings with glyphs because they're not marked on your map, just look them up on Google Maps, and they will actually pretty much exactly correspond geographically speaking.
I've been to Venice and Florence, and to like go into some of those buildings that are and to look up and go like, I remember that.
Yeah, that's what one of the actually Dave Clayman reviewed it for IGN. He apparently lived in Italy for a year, like in college, and he was an art history major in Italy. And he was like, it's like they nailed it.
It aggressively,
absolutely nailed it.
It aggressively courts the art history boner.
Yeah, exactly.
Buonanotte.
I learned a lot about art history. I took a bunch of classes, but I don't remember all of that. It hasn't stuck with me. And when I play this game and go up and look at my gallery and stand and look at a painting, I'm like,
and it has information about all the paintings.
Yeah, it makes me. It's not that it teaches me everything I need to know about it, but it makes me want to go Google it and learn more.
The database is awesome. The database really helps. Like it's great in sort of grounding you in that fiction.
two really good pieces of content are locked away in strange ways. One is the Palazzo de Medici, which is right now a GameStop exclusive pre-order bonus.
Right.
And then the other is the Auditory Crypt, which is back at your villa. As you play through the single player game, you'll get these like Ubisoft points called Uplay points.
They're like weird, like Kmart achievements.
If you don't know what the Uplay thing is, figure it out, set up an account, and do it, because the Auditory Crypt that you can get pretty early in the game has some really good information about Ezio's great-great-grandfather.
Yeah,
he ran into some of interesting historical figures as well. So it's just a cool piece of story. I'd recommend everyone try to download this thing and read it.
Puzzle.
When I walk around town now, all I can do is look at all the fucking buildings around and think about how I want to climb them. Assassin's Creed, Crackdowns, these are the type of games that really seem to affect me in the real world. It changes the way I look at the city around me. Yeah.
Where's the orbs?
Exactly. and so I just thought it was a really clever thing for them to notice and include into the story of this game, because you really do. If you spend a lot of time playing Assassin's Creed, you're going to be looking at the world around you in a whole different way. You finally do get to see the bleeding effect in action in Desmond. You get to climb around this new space, and being able to do that, I think, does a great job of like making the Desmond character important to the game. Because at that point you're like, all right, here we go. He's a real assassin. Well, that opens up so many options. Now we can do an Assassin's Creed that doesn't need the Animus to be the main like location generator in the game. They can do a game that's set in their time.
But I want that.
I know, and I don't think they'll throw it away.
They won't throw it away.
In the
But they'll
next
play
game,
it.
maybe he wouldn't even need to go into the Animus to relive the genetic memory of his ancestors. Maybe you'll be playing a normal mission in current time, and all of a sudden they'll collapse.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you'll be in the past.
That would be crazy.
But you! There! There! Get him!
Lucy? I'm seeing things.
Do the hallucinations last longer than 30 seconds?
No.
Then it's nothing to be worried about. It'll pass.
It's in the dark though. It's like it hurts my eyes a little bit. It's a bit too bright.
Straining a little.
Oh, too dark, dude. Split the difference.
A little bit in the middle.
Halfway.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
What's going on?
Okay.
Nice.
He is changing the colors.
It's Squarespace. Remember, you can change the colors in real time.
Try green. I like green.
Okay, we'll do
Green's
green.
my favorite color.
That's super cool.
Do blue.
That's
all right.
you guys are changing the color. That's awesome.
Blue's not bad.
Dude, I think orange would be really good.
Orange? Yeah.
Really?
Orange bar logo.
Like how about like an olive
That's
or
a
a
little
mauve
bright,
or
yeah.
something?
Yeah, they move up to like a yellow.
Hold it.
Burnt
Go back.
sienna.
Go back.
Dude,
Go back.
no,
Go forward. Go back.
Nice.
Right there.
Yeah,
Go
what
back.
if we can make it
green.
do like a
Oh,
disco?
like a brighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the lights. Look at the color.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely.
Oh, that's good. Squarespace. Squarespace to change your site in real time. Everybody TV looks kinda shitty to me until we put it on the Squarespace. Real time changing of your website. Squarespace does it in real time. If you want your website to look like a disco, hit this shit up, baby. You will see it in real time. Squarespace.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, that was good talk, guys.
Not too bad.
I kind of like that color.
Oh, right there. Perfect.
Looks pretty good.
I like it.
All right. Let's do it. I'm playing the PS3 version. It kind of makes me sad that I actually saw the Xbox version and got to play it, and then I went and got the PS3 version. Lately, most multi-platform games, you just really can't tell the difference between the consoles.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed is unfortunately an exception to that.
I think if you hadn't seen the Xbox version, it'd be fine. If you're in the unfortunate position of being able to compare one directly to the other, or if you've played the Xbox one in the past and then you look at the PS3 version, it's a world of difference. I don't like feeding into this stupid console. I don't care about that, but
The console wars, yeah. Who gives a shit about which console is better or worse than the other one? That has nothing to do with it, but in this particular game, the Xbox version is clearly superior.
I just got burnt because I wanted the PS3 version because I like the PSP connectivity. Like,
Yeah.
you get significant awesome gameplay items when you're playing the PSP game if you've linked them up.
Do you feel like that mitigates the situation at all? I mean, is the PS3 version playable?
It is definitely playable. I've been playing. Ryan actually went back and turned his in. I stuck with the PS3 version just because I was like, all right, I'll bite the bullet. I'll see if this actually pans out to be like this throughout the whole game, and it does. The frame rate is constantly awful. The flickering, the shadow flickering that happens in both versions is worse in the PS3. The draw-in distance is closer in the PS3, so you see a lot of the level of detail like come in way closer to you than it does on the Xbox One. I mean, and it makes me sad. It doesn't make me mad at PS3. It doesn't make me mad at Ubisoft. It just makes me sad because this game looks so freaking amazing, and the core gameplay is unbelievably fun.
This is ridiculous! Vincenzo was supposed to take my shift an hour ago! My wife is going to murder me if I miss dinner again!
E che ti frega? Just go. It's not like we're guarding the dojo.
What the hell are we guarding anyway?
A shipment from China. Some kind of colored powder they brought over for a big party. Really expensive. Me.
It's my favorite open world game. It's the GTA game that I always wanted. Something that's a little bit more serious and not just about killing people all the time.
Even though you're an assassin.
I like GTA 4. The Zelda. I like GTA 4 a lot too. It's also the Zelda game I always wanted. You know, it's got the puzzle solving. It's got the just the right amount of overworld. It's got
the pieces of heart.
Yep. Liberty City and Renaissance Italy in Assassin's Creed 2 are like right here for me, and I really love both those spaces.
The background it gives you on everything you're doing and the people you interact with and the buildings you see, it gives historical context in an interesting way, and it just makes it so greatly superior to any world I've seen in a game in recent memory.
You could walk around the cities in Assassin's Creed and do not just an art history study, but an architectural study as well, and because everything just feels so right.
If I was teaching an art history class or TAing an art history class right now, I'd try to figure out a way to get my students to play the game. I've always wanted a little bit more from my video games, a little bit more history, a little bit more class.
The story and the developers treated the audience with respect. That they didn't assume that I wasn't going to be paying attention, that they didn't assume a lower common denominator of intelligence, even though I feel like it's accessible even if you're not super into art history.
It's still a fun game to play. Like the core gameplay mechanics don't get lost in that, and it's not just like you're reading from a book. Like you're playing these things, you're getting to interact. It taught me that learning could be fun.
Game of the year.
It's
my game of the year.
It's either my game of the year. It's like right here with Uncharted 2 for me, but I really like that game. Batman is great. Those three games: Batman, Assassin's Creed 2, Uncharted 2.
I just need to stop playing Call of Duty multiplayer.
There you go.